Hey guys, and welcome back to This Week in Weather. This is your host, Maddie Petrie, and this week's theme is wild weather. Today we will be discussing wild weather stories, what would you do in this situation, and wild weather tips and tricks. Also, joining us today will be my good friend Cassidy Gearson, who will provide us with some of her personal stories and some wild weather experiences, as well as a good time. But first, this week's episode is sponsored by Energizer Batteries. Energizer batteries will make sure your lights keep going and going during a storm. There's no need to be afraid of the dark as long as you have a pack of these long-lasting and reliable batteries close by your side during your next wild weather experience. Energizer batteries, the batteries that just keep going and going. Alrighty, welcome to the show, Cassidy. We are happy to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So I know you probably have a good story or two to share with us for this week's episode. Can you give me your most memorable wild weather story?
Yeah, so last year, actually, I broke my ankle at Char.
Oh, no! Not Char.
A week later, I was going to class, and it was in the middle of December, and I was on crutches in a boot, and I was late for class, so I wasn't really paying attention to how slippery it was.
Yeah.
So I'm, crutching along.
Oh, no, I can see where this is going.
And I'm going... And I fell, and my ankle, went the other way. And I was like, I feel pain.
Oh, my God.
Went to the doctor. On top of my broken foot, I then dislocated my foot.
Oh, my God.
And I will forever hate South Dakota winters.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, South Dakota winters. It was, one of those icy, really, really icy times.
Yeah, it was, the week out, because how classes got canceled last year? It was, the week back after that.
Oh, geez,
so,
wow.
Snow was high. It was cold.
Yeah, South Dakota on the eastern end is rough in the wintertime. Thanks, Cassie, for sharing that with us, and we'll be right back. So when I was younger, I know someone was always sharing with me what they think one's supposed to do in a scary weather situation. For example, my mom always told me to hide in the basement during a tornado, go to the bathroom during a hurricane or earthquake. But were you ever told anything like that, Cassidy?
Just kind of go into the closet when there's a tornado. I used to live in Tornado Alley.
Oh, yeah.
In Nebraska, and that's just what we did, and I'm alive today. So.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is the most accurate or inaccurate advice you've ever received?
Okay, so I played softball. It would be thundering.
Yeah.
No one cared. We were surrounded by metal. We had aluminum bats. I don't know how I'm still here today, but...
They always just told you to keep going? Or
keep playing.
Keep playing, yeah. Wow. Well, next we will be closing out and giving everybody some tips and tricks to take with you home from this podcast. If the roads are icy, don't jerk your wheel. Pump your brakes instead.
If there is a power outage during a winter storm... Don't let your beer go warm. Just go and put it in the snow outside.
If the roads are wet from rain, make sure you go 10 under the speed limit. But if you start hydroplaning, honestly, just let it happen because there's really no good tips for that situation.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about droughts because no one ever talks about droughts. If it is drought season, don't burn brush, don't burn your trash, don't start campfires. Just keep the flame to nothing.
True. Save the trees. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week where we're going to talk about what weather means to you and how different weather can represent different symbolic meanings throughout different cultures worldwide. It'll be an interesting one. See you all next week.